The devotee increases the delight of God. Taken from Compulsory Dancing by Darthree John, aka Adidar Samraj. There is a danger in mere verbal consideration of the teaching, reading, thinking, and discussing the teaching and the way of life. You can become profoundly consoled by the verbal consideration alone and think that you are actually practicing the way. Yes, you may enjoy a certain level of understanding, but true self-transcending practice is another matter. Therefore, the verbal consideration should be finite and to the point. It should orient you to the real and necessary event, the conversion of the body-mind to love through feeling. Sin is simply emotional dissociation. Narcissus is emotional dissociation. What you are suffering is only emotional dissociation from experience and from all relationships in every moment. There is a density, a contraction, a recoil recognizable in feeling and in the body. It is primarily associated with the heart, but it emanates through every aspect of the body-mind. It is at the root of all the strategies of your life. That recoil is emotional dissociation. There are reflexes that operate in all the areas of our functional life. When we shock one of these reflexes, the experience is so profound that the natural mechanism recoils into a chronic state or pattern of reactivity. This reaction is not a temporary solution, such as the physical recoil from something very hot. Emotional reflexes become frozen, fixed in place through shock. Many such reflexes are effective in the complex of your body-mind, and they reveal themselves in various ways. The fear of death, for instance, should illustrate to you how profound your fundamental emotional reaction is and how firmly it is fixed in your born existence. You have emotionally recoiled from the fact of death and thereby from life altogether. The quality of emotional dissociation is always present in all of your experience. There is a way, however, to transcend this reaction. You can enter into self-transcending communion with the living principle and reality of life, and be liberated thereby from all illusions founded on recoil from love. People talk about sin constantly, but the solutions that they offer do not bring sinning to an end. Sin is emotional separation, emotional dissociation in this moment, and therefore separation from God, self-possession, betrayal of others, collapse from love, from happiness, from blissfulness. Sin is missing the mark with the body altogether. When you feel as if the point of truth is in your heart, as if truth is to be discovered within the heart, you're just feeling the cramp in yourself. What is to be discovered is not within you. You are collapsed from radiance, from love. Even bliss is not sufficient realization. You think of bliss and associate it with God, but bliss is merely profound pleasurableness. It is not in itself necessarily associated with the ecstasy of God love. You can enter into the blissful self-root of the body and the heart, but absorption in the bliss awakened in this manner is not sufficient for God realization. You can become profoundly blissful without being changed emotionally. While blissful, you will still feel this fundamental self-possessed emotional dissociation from events, from existence itself, from God. Bliss must become ecstasy. When bliss becomes ecstasy, then it is love. In other words, when bliss transcends the self, it becomes love, and love is the principle of existence. Therefore, everything is superficial except this emotional consideration. You must be able to continue with it in every moment, not merely as a thinking affair. You must constantly be able to bring your attention into the feeling domain so that you do not mightily collapse from it. And you must learn from the artfulness of the good heart that is awakened through this consideration. Such artfulness includes all the matters of devotional service, sacramental action, and esoteric meditation. You may be familiar with the conventionally dualistic religious approach to devotion or service to God or the spiritual master. In that approach, you basically empty yourself and do not have a blissful bodily association, a love association with God. You are not ecstatic. In the conventional mind, living for God has a negative connotation, suggesting greyness and dryness. But the service I am considering is bodily worship or ecstasy. Within you are oriented without concern to God, to the infinite, wherein you are oriented without concern to God, to the infinite. The true devotee acts to increase the delight of God. All of manifest existence is already the pleasure of infinity, but through bodily, sacramental service, through surrender to infinity, you enhance and participate in that pleasure naturally. If such sacramental action is performed properly and in the right spirit, in fact, if any service is performed in the right spirit, such service is bodily worship. It is bodily bliss. And beyond bodily bliss, there exists bodily transfiguration, ecstasy, and translation into the divine domain or transcendence of all bodily and mental states. Da, da, da.